Welcome to In Depth with Academia. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Richard Price, CEO of Academia EDU, and I'm just, super excited to dig into a paper that sits right at the intersection of philosophy, quantum mechanics, and the deepest parts of what makes us human. As always, I'm presenting this research in a neutral light. The ideas we unpack are not endorsements, but just, thought-provoking explorations. So, take what resonates and chew on the rest. Today, we're looking at Quantum Ethics, a framework of dual universe morality by Alexander Paul Burton, who is based in Toronto. This paper, where do I even start, asks a question that sounds totally wild, but really makes you think, do our ethical choices shape not just our lives, but also potentially the very fabric of reality? And wait for it, not just in our universe, but in a second mirrored cosmos running in reverse time. Why does this question matter? Well, think about how sometimes it feels like destructive actions have a ripple effect. Things fall apart quickly, pain spreads fast. But when you do something like genuinely kind, it can feel slower, harder to build. This paper tries to answer why. Burton suggests that goodness needs effort and conscious choice because, at some deeper level, every decision is a tangible thread in a cosmic tapestry that goes beyond time and space. That's a lot to ponder. And again, this is his proposal, not like a decree from the universe. So, what does the paper actually say? Here's the core framework. Burton imagines two universes, ours, which he calls UA, moves forward in time, just like we experience. But then he introduces UB, a mirror universe that runs in reverse. He calls this setup a retrocausal feedback loop, which means, get this, every ethical choice you make kind of nudges probabilities in both universes. Picture two massive pendulums. Our choices send little ripples not just into our own timeline, but backward into this mirrored world. Still with me? There's no hard determinism here. It's not like you're fated to do X just because something happened in some mirrored past. Instead, it's like, this is a weird analogy, but think of how a single push on a swing set might nudge a second swing. Tiny, right? But at scale, those nudges add up. Now, how does this affect you if you buy into this model? And to be clear, Burton's not saying this is settled science, just a speculative structure. Then every choice, big or small, is a contributor to the evolving moral state of the universe. He goes really deep into quantum metaphors here. Goodness, he says, is like a wave function sitting in superposition. Potential, right? But for goodness to collapse into action, we need what he calls conscious effort. And evil? Well, it sort of aligns with entropy, spreads fast, is chaotic, almost seems to happen on autopilot. So, what does that mean for your daily life? Burton argues that real, enduring goodness takes energy. It's like creating a pattern out of randomness. Destruction and evil, meanwhile, happen on their own unless stopped. It's almost like leaving bread out. It grows mold on its own, but if you want to bake it perfectly, it takes work. That might be a weird example, but, sometimes analogies just pop in my head. There's math in the paper, differential equations showing how these moral states, alpha for goodness and beta for evil, evolve depending on your conscious choices. Now, don't freak out. This math is more metaphor than physics here. The point is that every action you take, or don't take, tilts this moral wave function one way or the other. And here's a fascinating detail: the idea that even tiny actions have cosmic weight. For example, Burton writes about the choice to stir your coffee 5 versus 6 times. Seriously? He argues that the extra stir, a tiny act of conscious effort, tips the universe's moral state, however imperceptibly. Or missing a phone call. It might look trivial, maybe even bad, but in some situations restraint or inaction can prevent harm, so that also nudges morality toward goodness. By now you might be thinking, yikes, Richard, does this mean I have to worry about every single thing I do? That's a great question. And I mean, look, Burton's system encourages us to be mindful, but, no one can be perfectly conscious all the time. The takeaway isn't anxiety, it's awareness. The tiniest acts in this framework matter, not just for now, but for cosmic mirrored timelines. Quick digression here. Have you ever noticed how, when you try to be extra good, it feels like no one notices. And then, when you mess up, everyone's on you immediately. Maybe it's just me, but if this dual universe theory were real, maybe that's why. Or maybe it's just, life. So, in summary, quantum ethics doesn't give you rules. It gives you a lens to rethink your actions. Your effort toward goodness might not win headlines or applause, but maybe, Burton suggests, it's tipping cosmic balance in ways you don't see. Chaos is easy. Beauty, structure, meaning, they take energy and, apparently, echo through more than just our world. Alright, thanks for joining me as we explore these big, brain-bending ideas. Remember, research is never the last word. These are insights to consider, not commandments. I invite you to reflect. What small but meaningful choice can you make today, knowing that, well, according to this perspective, it just might matter, not just for you, but for a universe you'll never see. Until next time, keep thinking, keep exploring, and maybe give your coffee an extra stir. See you on the next episode of In Depth with Academia.